Have you ever wondered what truly makes a person attractive? Interestingly, it's not always about appearance. In fact, many people we find incredibly attractive don't even believe it themselves. A paradox, isn't it? In this video, we'll uncover 12 signs that you might be far more attractive than you think, and we'll look at them through the ideas of Carl Gustav Jung. And at the end, I'll reveal the hidden factor Jung wrote about, the one that makes a person almost magnetic to others. Jung claimed that attraction is born from the depths of personality, from the unconscious. It's not a mask, not a role, not a set of phrases taken from self-help books. Attractiveness is something that others read from you, even if you try to hide it. We sense the power of personality on the level of symbols, gestures, and energy. Imagine, you walk into a room where you don't know anyone. Suddenly, someone's gaze lingers on you longer than usual. That person doesn't even understand why, and you think, what's so special about me? Those invisible signals are exactly what create charisma. Today we'll explore these signals. Some of them will surprise you, because you may never have suspected they're connected to attractiveness. And if you recognize yourself in even a few of them, chances are you're much more interesting and charming than you believe. At the end, you'll learn Jung's secret, the one that explains why some people naturally draw others in again and again, while others seem to go unnoticed. When Jung spoke of attractiveness, he was not referring to a beautiful face or a flawless body. He pointed to something deeper, an invisible energy that radiates from within. According to him, true magnetism comes from the alignment between your conscious personality and the hidden layers of your unconscious. When these two worlds are in conflict, we often feel insecure, artificial, or tense. But when they work together, the result is an aura that people notice immediately. Inner strength, in Jung's terms, is the ability to accept your own complexity. He believed that every person carries both light and shadow. The shadow includes the qualities we reject, fear, or try to hide. And yet, when we deny these parts of ourselves, we lose authenticity. Strangely enough, others feel this lack of wholeness, even if they cannot explain it. On the other hand, a person who dares to face their shadow, who integrates their hidden aspects, often develops a mysterious depth. They may not be conventionally attractive, but they radiate presence. People sense that they are real, unafraid, and somehow complete. That is why Jung insisted, attractiveness is not a performance, but a reflection of inner harmony. Think of it this way, if you wear a mask for too long, eventually others will feel that something is false. They may not know exactly what, but they'll sense the dissonance. Conversely, if you live in alignment with your true self, you create trust without words. This silent trust is one of the strongest forms of attraction. You'll also notice that people are unconsciously drawn to those who embody qualities they themselves lack. For example, a shy person might feel magnetized by someone who is calm and confident. Without realizing it, they are searching for balance through the other. In this sense, attraction is a dialogue between souls, not just between bodies. So when Jung talked about inner strength, he described a state where your inner world is not fragmented. You may have doubts, weaknesses, even fears, but you are not at war with them. Instead, you integrate them into your personality. That inner coherence becomes visible to others, even without a single word being spoken. One of the strongest indicators of hidden attractiveness, according to Jungian psychology, is quiet confidence. This is not the kind of confidence that demands attention, raises the voice, or seeks dominance. Rather, it is a calm inner assurance that does not need to prove itself. When a person knows who they are, they naturally radiate stability, and that stability is magnetic. Arrogance, in contrast, is rooted in insecurity. It is often a mask people wear to hide their doubts or fears. That is why arrogant behavior pushes others away, while true confidence draws them in. The difference is subtle but powerful. Arrogance seeks validation, while confidence simply exists. Imagine someone entering a room. They don't need to speak loudly or occupy all the space to be noticed. Their presence alone is enough. Others feel comfortable around them because this kind of confidence creates a safe atmosphere. It does not threaten, it reassures. Jung would say that this confidence comes from integration, the acceptance of both strengths and weaknesses. Such a person is aware of their flaws, but they are not defined by them. Instead of hiding or overcompensating, they embrace their whole self. That acceptance allows them to stand firmly without fear. Interestingly, people often confuse confidence with extroversion. But confidence has nothing to do with how much you talk or how social you are. A quiet, introverted person can radiate even greater inner strength than someone loud and energetic. What matters is not volume, but authenticity. This is why true confidence is one of the most attractive traits. It gives people the sense that they can trust you, rely on you, and feel at ease in your presence. Without a single word, you communicate, I am grounded, I do not need to compete with you. I am simply myself, and this silent message is irresistible. One of the rarest and most captivating qualities, Jung believed, is the courage to be authentic. In a world where so many people wear masks to fit in, to impress, or to protect themselves, authenticity becomes a silent act of rebellion. To be yourself, without pretense or constant performance, is not only liberating, but also deeply attractive to others. People sense it immediately, the energy of someone who is not pretending. It gives them permission to lower their own defenses, and that creates a magnetic bond. Many individuals, consciously or unconsciously, step into roles every day: the role of the strong one, the role of the victim, the role of the entertainer. These roles may help us adapt to society, but they also imprison us. Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear for the outer world. While necessary to some extent, it becomes destructive when we forget that the mask is not our true face. Living only through the persona drains our energy, leaving us anxious and unsatisfied, always chasing approval. Authenticity, however, is different. It does not mean exposing every thought or emotion, nor does it mean rejecting all social expectations. It means aligning your inner world with your outer actions. When what you say, what you do, and what you feel move in harmony, people perceive you as trustworthy and grounded. This congruence is rare, and precisely because of that, it makes you unforgettable. Let us be honest, being yourself requires courage. Society constantly pressures us to meet standards, to achieve certain images, to hide our flaws. But those who have the strength to drop the unnecessary masks show something far more powerful than perfection. They show humanity. And humanity, with all its contradictions and imperfections, is irresistibly beautiful. Think about the people who inspire you most. They are rarely flawless, but they are genuine. They admit their mistakes, they laugh at themselves, they live with an openness that feels real. Such people are like a breath of fresh air in a world full of performances. Without words, they communicate, I am not playing a part. I am simply me. This message resonates deeply, because it touches the universal longing we all have, the desire to be accepted as we truly are. For Jung, the path to this authenticity lay in individuation, the lifelong process of uniting the conscious and unconscious parts of the psyche. Those who walk this path become whole, and wholeness itself radiates a natural attractiveness. It is not about charm, beauty, or charisma in the usual sense. It is about the rare inner harmony of a person who is done pretending, who no longer needs to be anyone else but themselves. And that is a quality no role can ever imitate. There is something undeniably magnetic about people who have depth. You can sense that their personality is not superficial, not limited to small talk or rehearsed stories. Instead, they carry within themselves an inner world that feels rich, layered, and endlessly intriguing. Carl Jung often wrote about the power of individuation, the process of becoming truly oneself, not a copy of society's expectations. This depth creates a presence that others cannot ignore, because it hints at mystery, authenticity, and wisdom. Think about it. When someone speaks, do their words simply fill the air, or do they invite you to reflect, to question, to look deeper into yourself? Depth is not about being overly serious or distant. It is about having something real inside, something that resonates. A person with depth naturally draws others in, because they are like a book with many chapters, and each encounter feels like discovering a new page. Jung believed that individuality is what separates true personality from a persona. The persona is a mask, a role that we wear in society to fit in, but individuality is raw, unpolished, and utterly unique. It is often forged in struggles, inner battles, and moments of solitude. And it is this inner individuality that makes someone stand out in a crowd, even if they are quiet. People can feel when someone is not imitating, but living their truth. We are naturally drawn to those who embody their uniqueness because they unconsciously give us permission to do the same. Their individuality whispers to us, "It's safe to be yourself." This is one of the deepest forms of attraction because it operates below the surface of appearances and touches something universal inside us, the desire to be free, authentic, and unrepeatable. Picture a conversation with such a person. It never feels empty. Even silence carries weight. You walk away from them feeling enriched, as if you have absorbed something beyond words. That is the power of depth and individuality. They stay with us long after the meeting ends. So if you have ever been told that you seem different or hard to forget, it may be because you radiate this very quality. It is not about effort or performance. It is about the depth of your being, something that no one else can replicate. True attractiveness is not only about what a person radiates outwardly, but also about how they respond to others. Empathy, the ability to feel and understand another person's emotions, creates a magnetic bond that no surface-level charm can replace. When you meet someone who listens with genuine presence, who notices subtle changes in your tone or expression, you immediately feel seen and valued. Jung emphasized that relationships are mirrors of the psyche. How we respond to others reflects how deeply we have encountered ourselves. An empathetic person does not rush to give advice or dominate the conversation. Instead, they create a space where others feel safe to open up. This quality is rare and therefore precious. In a world where so many compete to be heard, the one who truly listens becomes unforgettable. Empathy has an almost healing effect. It lowers defenses, softens pride, and builds connection that transcends appearances. Attention to others goes hand in hand with empathy. It is not about being overly accommodating or losing oneself, but about recognizing the humanity in each person. This ability to notice details, the way someone hesitates before speaking, or how their energy shifts when a sensitive topic arises, shows emotional intelligence. People with such awareness often draw others closer because they provide what we all unconsciously seek, acknowledgement of our inner world. Jung believed that we project parts of ourselves onto others, which means that being attentive is also a path to self-knowledge. By noticing another person's fears, joys, and struggles, we indirectly recognize the same patterns within ourselves. Thus, empathy and attention are not weaknesses, but signs of psychological maturity. They show that a person has moved beyond self-absorption and has developed the strength to include others in their inner universe. Imagine sitting with someone who listens without interrupting, who remembers details you shared weeks ago, who looks you in the eye with genuine interest. That kind of presence makes you feel not just liked, but deeply respected. This is why empathy and attention are often more attractive than physical beauty. They create bonds that endure beyond first impressions. If people often tell you, "I feel comfortable with you," or "I can talk to you about anything," it is a sign that you possess this quality. You radiate a subtle power that does not dominate, but invites. And in Jungian terms, that is a profound form of inner strength, the strength to connect, to care, and to make others feel less alone. There is something profoundly magnetic about a person who radiates calmness. This quality does not come from indifference or lack of passion, but from a deep inner balance that is not easily shaken by external chaos. In a noisy and restless world, calmness feels like an anchor, and people naturally gravitate toward those who embody it. Jung believed that true strength lies in the integration of opposites within the psyche, when light and shadow, instinct and reason, emotion and thought are reconciled. A calm person reflects this inner harmony, and others sense it immediately. Inner balance is not the absence of problems, but the ability to hold them without being consumed. Such a person can face difficulties without losing themselves, without being swallowed by fear or anger. Their energy communicates stability, and this creates trust. When you sit next to someone who does not rush, who breathes evenly, who speaks thoughtfully, you instinctively feel safer. It is as if their groundedness gives you permission to slow down as well. This kind of calm presence has an almost therapeutic effect. It allows others to step away from their own inner turbulence and reconnect with a sense of clarity. Jung spoke of the self as the center of the psyche, the point of balance around which the different parts of the personality revolve. A person who has touched this center radiates peace, not because life is easy for them, but because they have learned to return to that still point within themselves. Calmness is also a form of silent power. Unlike those who dominate with loud voices or dramatic gestures, the balanced individual influences others through steadiness. Their composure often inspires more respect than force ever could. This kind of presence is not about passivity. It is about strength without aggression, confidence without arrogance, and depth without noise. Imagine being in a stressful situation and noticing someone who does not panic, but quietly assesses the moment. Their very being calms the atmosphere, showing that it is possible to respond with clarity instead of chaos. This is why calm people are often seen as leaders, even when they do not try to be. Their balance becomes a source of stability for everyone around them. If you find that people often turn to you for advice, or simply enjoy being near you because they feel at ease, this may be a sign that you carry this inner calm. It is one of the most subtle yet powerful forms of attractiveness, the ability to embody peace in a world that is constantly trying to pull us into noise and distraction. There is a certain spark in people who remain genuinely curious about the world around them. Curiosity is not just about gathering information. It is a living energy that makes a person vibrant and magnetic. Such individuals look at life not as something to endure, but as an endless source of discovery. Their eyes light up when they learn something new, their conversations are filled with fresh insights, and their presence feels invigorating. Jung emphasized that the psyche thrives on growth and exploration. When curiosity dies, the spirit withers. Curious people naturally draw others in because they invite them into a journey of discovery. Being near someone who is interested in life makes you feel more alive yourself. It is not about knowing everything, but about maintaining the openness to ask questions, to wonder, to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. This openness makes interactions with them exciting because you never know what new perspective they might share. Curiosity also reflects humility. Those who remain open to learning show that they do not believe they have reached the final truth. Instead, they are willing to expand their vision again and again. This quality is profoundly attractive because it creates a sense of freshness and movement. A curious person does not get stuck in rigid patterns. They are always evolving, and people are instinctively drawn to growth. At a deeper level, curiosity is the soul's way of seeking connection with the unknown. Jung saw this drive as part of individuation, the process by which a person unfolds their true nature by exploring what lies beyond the familiar. To be curious is to listen to that inner call that whispers, "There is more to life than what you already know." When someone shares their curiosity, it often awakens yours. You may find yourself inspired to read, to explore, to ask, to create. Their energy expands your own, and that exchange feels alive. That is why conversations with curious people rarely feel boring. They carry a sense of adventure. If you notice that you are constantly drawn to new ideas, experiences, or perspectives, and that others enjoy joining you on this path, it may be a sign that curiosity is one of your hidden strengths. It is more than a trait. It is a way of living that makes you magnetic, because people are always drawn to the flame of discovery. One of the most magnetic yet often underestimated qualities is the ability to truly listen. In a world where many people are preoccupied with being heard, those who can offer their full attention stand out immediately. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to speak, it is an act of presence. When you listen deeply, you create a space where another person feels seen, valued, and safe. This quality builds trust, and trust is one of the strongest forms of attraction. A good listener does more than hear words. They notice the emotions behind them, the pauses, the tone, the silences. This kind of listening requires empathy and patience. It means not rushing to give advice, not interrupting, but letting the other person unfold at their own pace. Such listening feels rare and precious because it communicates respect. In Jungian terms, it reflects the ability to honor the other, to acknowledge the reality beyond one's own ego. People are drawn to those who listen because it gives them the gift of significance. We all long to be understood, and when someone listens without judgment, we feel accepted as we are. That acceptance creates a bond stronger than physical appearance or surface charm. It speaks directly to the heart, because it mirrors our need for connection. Listening is also a form of wisdom. Those who cultivate this skill understand that communication is not only about speaking, but also about receiving. By listening carefully, they gain insights into others' inner worlds and enrich their own perspective. This depth of understanding makes their presence comforting and trustworthy. Often, the most memorable conversations are not those where someone impressed us with their knowledge, but those where we felt truly heard. A person who listens gives us back to ourselves. They help us hear our own thoughts more clearly. That is why people feel lighter, calmer, and closer after talking with such individuals. If you find that others often come to you for advice, comfort, or simply to be heard, it may be a sign that your hidden strength lies in your ability to listen and understand. This is a quiet, subtle form of magnetism, but it is one of the most enduring. True listening makes people want to stay close, because in your presence, they feel more fully alive. One of the deepest and most attractive qualities a person can radiate is the quiet confidence that comes from being at peace with their own body. This does not mean striving for perfection or fitting into imposed standards of beauty. True attractiveness lies in the ability to accept yourself as you are, with your uniqueness, imperfections, and natural presence. When a person moves, speaks, and exists in harmony with themselves, others sense this authenticity and feel drawn to it. Confidence rooted in self-acceptance is magnetic because it is rare in a culture dominated by comparison and self-criticism. This kind of confidence is not arrogance, nor is it an attempt to prove anything to anyone. It is a deep inner agreement with oneself. People who accept their bodies project calm strength. Their posture, gestures, and facial expressions reflect balance and ease rather than tension. They do not need external approval to feel valuable. They carry within them a quiet assurance that radiates outward. Such people are often perceived as graceful, regardless of their physical form, because their presence is harmonious. Self-acceptance also frees a person from the exhausting pursuit of ideals that constantly shift with trends and social pressures. Instead of chasing an unreachable standard, they live in alignment with their own rhythm and nature. This liberation makes them more open, more present, and more capable of connecting with others without masks. Their authenticity is refreshing because it encourages those around them to be more comfortable with themselves too. Moreover, confidence in the body allows for genuine enjoyment of life. Those who accept themselves do not avoid experiences out of fear of judgment. They dance, laugh, explore, and express themselves fully. Their vitality inspires because it shows that beauty is not about measurements or appearances, but about the energy of being alive. This kind of joy is contagious, and people naturally want to be close to it. In Jungian terms, self-acceptance reflects integration of the shadow, embracing what we might otherwise reject or hide. By making peace with all parts of themselves, individuals become whole, and wholeness is deeply magnetic. Others sense this integrity, even unconsciously, and respond with admiration and trust. If you feel comfortable in your skin, if you move with natural ease, and if you no longer struggle against your own reflection, this may be one of your hidden signs of attractiveness. True beauty does not shout, it simply exists. And when a person embodies acceptance of themselves, they become a living reminder to others that it is safe to do the same. Attractiveness is not only about warmth and openness, but also about the ability to protect one's own space and to maintain self-respect. A person with healthy personal boundaries does not allow others to exploit, manipulate, or disrespect them. This quiet firmness commands respect because it signals inner strength and self-worth. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are clear lines that help others understand how to relate with us in a healthy and balanced way. Such a person radiates dignity. They do not need to raise their voice or prove themselves to be heard. Their presence itself communicates that they know their value and will not compromise it. This steadiness makes others feel safe. When we encounter someone who respects themselves, we instinctively know that they are also capable of respecting us. This mutual recognition of dignity is magnetic. Personal boundaries also protect authenticity. When a person is not afraid to say no when necessary, they preserve their integrity. They do not agree to what feels wrong, just to avoid conflict or to gain approval. This ability to stay true to themselves even under pressure makes them reliable and trustworthy. Others intuitively feel they can depend on such a person because their actions are guided by inner principles rather than external expectations. From a Jungian perspective, the presence of boundaries is a sign of a mature ego that has integrated both strength and compassion. Without boundaries, a person may dissolve into others, losing themselves in relationships or social roles. With too rigid walls, they may isolate themselves. But when balance is found, boundaries become not barriers, but pathways to genuine connection. They allow relationships to flourish with respect and mutuality rather than dependency or domination. Dignity is inseparable from boundaries. A dignified person does not beg for attention, does not seek to please at any cost, and does not lower themselves to manipulation. They stand firmly, yet gracefully, in their own center. This quiet strength is deeply attractive because it reflects an inner stability that so many long for. If you are able to say yes wholeheartedly and no without guilt, if you live with respect for yourself and others, then this may be one of your hidden signs of attractiveness. True dignity never demands recognition. It simply exists, and people naturally respond to it with respect. Humor is one of the most underestimated signs of attractiveness. A person who can laugh at themselves, at life's absurdities, or at everyday challenges radiates lightness that draws others in. Humor does not mean constant jokes or superficial laughter. It is rather the ability to see life from a broader perspective and to avoid being crushed by difficulties. When someone carries this quality, they remind others that joy is always possible, even in moments of hardship. Their smile or witty remark often becomes a healing balm in tense situations, breaking walls and connecting people more deeply. Self-knowledge is another dimension of deep attraction. A person who has taken the time to explore their own inner world, who understands their strengths and weaknesses, fears and desires, carries a natural authority. They are not easily swayed by external noise, because they know who they are. This authenticity cannot be faked. It shows in the way they speak, choose, and interact. People sense when someone lives in alignment with themselves. It inspires trust and admiration. Self-knowledge also leads to humility. One does not need to pretend to be perfect, because one is comfortable with being human. Vital energy is the spark that makes presence unforgettable. It is not about being loud or hyperactive, but about carrying an inner fire that makes life vivid. Such a person wakes curiosity in others simply by living with passion, whether it's in their work, creativity, or relationships. Their eyes seem alive, their gestures natural yet full of force, their presence stimulating. This kind of energy is contagious. Being around them makes others want to live more fully as well. When humor, self-knowledge, and vital energy come together, they form a powerful trio. Humor prevents self-knowledge from turning into excessive seriousness. Self-knowledge grounds humor, keeping it from becoming shallow or cruel. Vital energy animates both, transforming them into living forces that inspire others. Together, they create a presence that is not only attractive, but unforgettable. From a Jungian view, this combination reflects the process of individuation. Humor reveals distance from the rigid ego. Self-knowledge reflects integration of the shadow. Vital energy is the life force that flows when the psyche is in harmony. These three qualities signal maturity and wholeness, making a person both radiant and deeply human. If you recognize in yourself the ability to laugh, the courage to face your inner truth, and the fire to live with passion, then these are among your hidden signs of attractiveness. People are drawn to such individuals not because they are perfect, but because they embody life itself. As we explored these 12 hidden signs of attractiveness, one thing became clear. True magnetism has little to do with external perfection, and everything to do with inner wholeness. Confidence, authenticity, humor, vitality, self-knowledge, and dignity, all of these qualities radiate from within, shaping a presence that others naturally feel drawn to. From a Jungian perspective, these signs are not random. They reflect the process of individuation, the journey of becoming who we truly are, by integrating both our light and our shadow. Attractiveness, then, is not a mask but the natural glow of a psyche in harmony. It is the soul's resonance, perceived by others, even when we ourselves may not fully notice it. If you see yourself in some of these traits, know that they are already alive in you and continue to unfold as part of your personal journey. If you aspire to them, remember that they are not something to imitate, but qualities that grow organically as you deepen your relationship with yourself. Thank you for watching this video on Soul Alchemy. Share in the comments which of these signs you recognize in yourself and which ones you wish to develop further. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected for future insights. Take care of yourself.